The next morning, as 𝐦𝐚 was walking downstairs, faint voices drifted from the study. Curious, she stopped and what? She had froze her blood. Yeah, once everything is under my name, 𝐦𝐚 voice said coldly. I'll send that old man straight to hell. He's not even my real father. Anyway, all I ever wanted was 𝐁𝐨𝐬𝐭's wealth. That's the reason my mom left me with him. If she couldn't do it, I will. 𝐁's heart stopped. Her hands trembled, and before she could move, a vase slipped from her fingers and shattered on the floor. 𝐦𝐚 turned sharply. Who's there? But 𝐦𝐚 was already running for her life, for 𝐦𝐚𝐭, for everything she had just learned. 𝐦𝐚, stop, or it won't be good for you, 𝐦𝐚 shouted, chasing her out into the street. But 𝐦𝐚 was already running for her life, for 𝐦𝐭, for everything she had just learned. Why? Stop, or it won't be good for you, 𝐦𝐚 shouted, chasing her out into the street. Cars sped past, horns blaring, but 𝐦𝐚 didn't care. She had to reach 𝐦𝐭. She had to warn him. 𝐦𝐚, stop! But before she could react, headlights flashed, and the next moment, the sound of screeching tires filled the air. 𝐦𝐚 screamed. 𝐦𝐚! He rushed to her, lifting her unconscious body and taking her straight to the hospital. The doctors wheeled her into emergency surgery as he paced outside, sweating, terrified. Moments later, a doctor emerged. We need blood A positive, 𝐦𝐚 quickly said. Take mine. I'm B negative. Double quotes. The doctor shook his head. We can't use that. Do you know anyone with a positive? My father 𝐦𝐭, 𝐦𝐚 said, pulling out his phone. Inside his office, 𝐦𝐭 was reviewing files when his phone buzzed. He glanced down and saw 𝐦�'s name. He answered casually. 𝐦�, what? Dad. 𝐦�'s panicked voice cut in. 𝐦�'s been in an accident. Please, come to XX hospital now. 𝐦𝐭 froze. His pen slipped from his fingers. In the next second, he was out of his chair and running. Hospital. When 𝐦𝐭 arrived, doctors immediately took his blood. Hours later, one of them came out, removing his gloves. There's good news and bad news, Mr. 𝐁, the doctor said quietly. 𝐸𝐭's voice shook. She's alive? The doctor nodded. Alive, yes, but she's in a coma. We don't know when she'll wake up. 𝐸𝐭's legs gave way, and he collapsed onto a bench, hands trembling. Tears burned his eyes. 𝐦𝐚, standing nearby, smirked slightly. The doctor left, unaware. After a while, 𝐦�'s phone rang. Dad, stay with 𝐦𝐚, he said smoothly. I've got some work to do. Then he walked away, the faint smile still on his face. 𝐸𝐭 sat beside 𝐦𝐚, holding her cold hand. 𝐦𝐚, he whispered, his voice breaking. Why did you do this? You told me you didn't love me, and I believed you. I tried to move on, tried to stay away from you. But I can't live if you're gone. You don't have to love me back, just stay. That's enough for me. A single tear fell from his eyes, landing on her hand. For a moment, just a faint moment, her fingers twitched. Meanwhile, at a club across town, 𝐦𝐚 was laughing with his friends, glass in hand. A girl approached him, her lips curling into a smirk. Hey, handsome. Wanna spend the night with me? 𝐦𝐚 grinned. Why not, baby girl? Let's go. Days turned into weeks. 𝐸𝐭 never missed a single day he visited. 𝐦𝐚 every morning, every night, talking to her, holding her hand. 𝐸𝐚, on the other hand, didn't show up even once. 𝐦𝐚 walked into his friend's office, grinning. Are the papers ready? Yeah, all set, his friend replied. Perfect. I'll get the signatures today. With the file in hand, he headed straight to Jungkook's company. Knocking lightly on the door, he stepped into Jungkook's cabin. Dad, I need your signatures on a few documents, Yoonwoo said, pretending to look busy. Leave them on the table. I'll go through them later, Jungkook replied, eyes still on his laptop. 𝐸𝐴NW hands shook slightly. No, Dad, I already checked everything. They're perfect. Please sign now so I can send them to the client. Jungkook sighed and nodded. He signed 3 or 4 pages without suspicion and handed the file back. 𝐸𝐴NW lips curved into a victorious smirk as he walked out. The next day, Jungkook was sitting in his mansion when the door opened. Yoonwoo stepped in. His attitude completely changed, cold, arrogant, and cruel. Hello, Mr. Chen, he said mockingly. How are you today? Jungkook frowned, confused. What's with your tone, Yoonwoo? What's going on? Yoonwoo chuckled darkly. I'm speaking exactly how I should. I just came to inform you that this mansion now belongs to me. Your company too. In fact, everything you own belongs to me now. Congratulations, old man. You've officially lost everything. What nonsense is this? Jungkook snapped, standing up. Oh, it's not nonsense, Yoonwoo said, pulling out a document. You signed it yourself yesterday. He clapped his hands and several armed guards entered the room. Yoonwoo, what are you doing? Jungkook shouted as 2 guards grabbed his arms. Yoonwoo smiled cruelly. Now you'll see what happens to people who underestimate me. Before he could pull the trigger, a commanding voice echoed from the hallway. Put those guns down, or every single one of you dies right here. Everyone turned toward the sound. More than 100 guards swarmed into the hall, pointing their weapons at Yoonwoo's men. And then YN appeared. Her steps were calm, confident. Her eyes burned with fury. Surprise, Mr. Cha Yoonwoo, she said coldly. Yoonwoo's face went pale. Why? But you were in a coma. How are you? YN walked closer. Not as fast as you expected, Mr. Cha. She stopped beside Jungkook and sat gently on his lap, her arms circling his shoulders. Yoonwoo's eyes widened. YN, what the hell are you doing? He's your father-in-law. YN tilted her head. My father-in-law? You mean his father? You're not his son, remember? Before Yoonwoo could speak again, YN leaned forward and pressed a soft kiss to Jungkook's lips. Yoonwoo shouted, furious, I'll kill you. YN stood up, her gaze sharp. Come closer then. Let's see if you can. Her voice dripped with venom. Did you really think you could kill Jungkook and get away with it? Did you really believe I married you because I loved you? I never loved you, Yoonwoo. I love him, Chun. Jungkook, and soon I'll marry him. Yoonwoo's eyes filled with rage. But I loved you, YN. She laughed bitterly. Love? You mean the kind of love where you tried to sell me? Be grateful we found out your truth before it was too late. Yoonwoo clenched his fists. How did you even find out? Tell me the truth. Flashback. YN lay in the hospital bed, half conscious. Her body ached, but her mind was clear. When the doctor entered, she weakly grabbed his hand. In a trembling, broken voice, she whispered, Doctor, please, go outside and tell everyone. I'm in a coma. When Mr. Chun arrives, tell him he can meet me, but no one else should know. I'm awake. Especially not Yoonwoo. The doctor hesitated, then nodded. Understood. As expected, Yoonwoo had already left for the club that night, while Jungkook stayed behind. When YN finally woke up fully, Jungkook was beside her and she told him everything. From that moment, they began their plan together. Back in the present, YN's lips curled. While you were busy, sleeping around in clubs, the girl you spent the night with was feeding us all the information we needed. Every illegal deal, every signature, every plan, you are already tracked. Right then, police officers entered the mansion. They walked straight to Yoonwoo, double quotes, Cha Yoonwoo. You are under arrest for fraud, attempted murder, and multiple illegal transactions. Yoonwoo's face drained of color. He screamed as the officers grabbed him. YN. You betrayed me. YN folded her arms, watching coldly. You betrayed yourself. As he was dragged away, Jungkook stood up behind her. He reached for her hand, gently. YN turned to him with tears in her eyes. He smiled faintly, whispering, Welcome back, my love. After the police took Yoonwoo away, YN filed for divorce. Within a month, it was finalized. For the first time in years, she felt free. No more fear. No more pretending. Only peace and one name that still lived in her heart. Jungkook. 2 months passed. Those months were filled with laughter, flowers, and endless preparations. Every corner of the Chun mansion glowed with wedding lights, and YN, radiant as ever, was busy with every detail of her wedding. And finally, the day arrived. The day YN and Jungkook were to be married. On the stage. Beneath the shimmering lights, YN stood dressed in white, graceful, beautiful, glowing with the kind of joy that comes from love that's been tested and still endured. Beside her stood Jungkook, tall and calm, his eyes never leaving her. The priest recited the final vows and smiled. Now, you may kiss the bride. Jungkook stepped closer, his movements gentle, deliberate. He looked into YN's eyes for a brief moment as if asking silently for permission, and then leaned forward, pressing a soft kiss to her lips. The crowd erupted in cheers and applause, celebrating not just a wedding, but a love that had survived everything. Later that night, YN sat on the edge of the bed, her heart racing. The soft golden lights filled the room, and the sound of her heartbeat was loud, enough to drown everything else. The door opened quietly. Jungkook stepped in and locked it behind him. At the sound of the click, YN's eyes lifted, their gazes met, and she quickly looked down, shyly lowering her lashes. Jungkook walked to her, his every step calm and deliberate. He sat beside her and spoke softly, his voice deep and full of emotion. Thank you, YN. Thank you for choosing me. You had so many options, so many better, younger men. But you chose me even, though I'm 45. Before he could finish, YN placed her finger gently on his lips. Jungkook, she whispered. When the heart chooses someone, it doesn't measure or compare. My heart chose you. Your age doesn't change that. Jungkook's eyes softened. He looked into her gaze, those eyes, full of sincerity and quiet love, and leaned in, pressing a soft kiss to her lips. Thank you again, my angel, he murmured against her skin. His lips trailed down, pressing tender kisses along her jaw and neck until he reached the curve where he left a gentle love mark, a symbol, not of possession, but of belonging. He lifted his head slightly, their eyes meeting again. Angel, he said quietly, I know I'm 45, but still, I can give you a little version of us. YN's lips curved into a playful smile. She wrapped her arms around his neck and pulled him closer, whispering softly, Baby, why don't we make it 2 little versions this time? Jungkook chuckled, his eyes lighting up with warmth. Angel, he said in a low, loving tone. Are you sure you can handle that? 𝐦𝐚 smiled against his shoulder. I did before, didn't I? Their laughter mixed with the sound of their hearts, both knowing that tonight wasn't about desire, it was about belonging. That night, 𝐁𝐨𝐬𝐿 and 𝐦𝐚 held each other close, erasing the pain of their pasts and building something entirely new. For the first time, 𝐁𝐸 claimed every piece of her heart, not out of power but out of love. And 𝐦𝐚, in his arms, finally felt home. 10 years had passed since that night when everything changed. 𝐸 was taking a shower when suddenly, warm arms wrapped gently around her from behind. 𝐁𝐸's familiar scent and touch made her smile before he whispered softly near her ear. Baby. The way he said it sent a rush of warmth through her. Her whole body tingled, goosebumps rising on her skin as a shiver ran down her spine. Startled, she turned slightly, her cheeks flushed. 𝐸𝐶, what are you doing in here? What if the kids see you? 𝐁𝐸 chuckled lowly, resting his chin on her shoulder. Let them see we still love each other, he teased softly. I just needed to hold you. It's been such a long, tiring day. __𝐦𝐚 laughed quietly, shaking her head, though her heart fluttered. 2 hours later, they stepped out of the bathroom, both looking refreshed and glowing with quiet contentment. 𝐁𝐸 ran a towel through his hair and asked, Angel, where are my princess and my champ? 𝐸 smiled as she dried her hands. Your champ had his football match today. Both of them went. They should be home any minute. 𝐁𝐸 frowned slightly, concern flickering across his face. Angel, you sent them alone? 𝐦𝐚 smiled reassuringly. They're with the guard and the nanny. Don't worry. I just needed a bit of time. The house needed cleaning. And I finally got to shower properly after my cycle ended. You know how hard it gets when the kids are around. 𝐁𝐸 nodded with understanding. Fair enough. Just then, a familiar voice echoed from downstairs. Daddy, are you home? It was 𝐴RA. 𝐁𝐸 immediately went downstairs, his expression softening. 𝐴RA came running toward him, her little face glowing with excitement. Daddy, Oppa's team won the match. You didn't see it. He played so well. Everyone was cheering for him. 𝐁𝐸 smiled warmly, leaning down to kiss the top of her head. Really? My little champ did that well, huh? At that moment, 𝐁𝐸 came running in, his cheeks flushed with pride. Daddy, our team won. We actually won. 𝐁𝐸 laughed, pulling him into a hug. Well done, my champ. I knew my son would come home with a win. After all, whose son is he? 𝐸, who had just come downstairs, smiled as she watched. The three of them together. So, tell me, how was the match? 𝐁𝐸 immediately launched into an animated retelling, his parents listening with smiles that reached their eyes. And just like that, in laughter and stories, 𝐁𝐸, 𝐦𝐚, and their little family filled their home with happiness once again. Later that evening, while they all sat together, 𝐁𝐸 suddenly asked, Daddy, what gift will you give us for our 9th birthday? 𝐁𝐸 smiled, pretending to think. What does my son want? 𝐁𝐸 grinned. Iron Man's latest version. And the newest video game. 𝐁𝐸 chuckled. Done, champ. He then turned to ask 𝐴RA, but she had already fallen asleep, her head resting peacefully on his chest. 𝐁𝐸 and 𝐦𝐚 exchanged a soft smile, lifting her gently to take her to her room. After tucking both children into bed and having dinner, they finally returned to their own room. 𝐸 sat by the mirror, brushing her hair and applying her night cream, her reflection glowing softly in the warm light. 𝐦𝐚𝐬𝐭 walked out of the bathroom, wearing comfortable lounge pants and a soft smile. "Angel," he said, walking toward her, "thank you for giving me such a beautiful family. Double quotes. _YN turned slightly in her chair, her gaze landing on him. Her lips curved into a teasing smile. "Cook, tell me something. How do you still manage to look this good at 50? You still look like you're in your 30s. Jungkook stepped closer, his smirk playful. "That's all because of your care, baby." In's cheeks turned a deep shade of red. "Pervert cookie," she whispered with a laugh. Jungkook chuckled softly, then guided her gently toward the bed. He lay beside her, pulling her close into his arms. "Good night, my angel." Wine rested her head against his chest, feeling his heartbeat steady beneath her ear. In that quiet room, filled with the gentle rhythm of their breaths, Jungkook and In drifted into sleep wrapped in love, memories, and the piece of a life they built together. Their love, after 10 years, was still the same steady, strong and endlessly warm.